Don't make these mistakes when you're making your first fish tank. Let's get it. First tip is that you don't use any plants in your tank. Plants can really help your tank cycle all the nasties and can use all the fish poop in the sand to grow. I use a mixture of floating plants, fast growing, water column, and slow growing plants. The floater plants are going to be growing the fastest as they have access to the CO2 and oxygen at the surface, and they have access to the water column, and they can pull the nutrients from with their roots. Moss is another really good plant that you can use to Moss is a really good plant to use to soak up the nutrients out of the water column, as you don't need to plant it, and as the water goes around, it just soaks up the nutrients. So you don't really need to put it anywhere special, just a nice spot just to let it grow, and it'll do its job. And then I have, these are my slower growing plants. These are going to be in the soil. I don't have anything fancy, I just have some used substrate. So it has fish poop and fish waste that the plants can use for nutrients, but other than that, the soil does not have any root tabs, as I can't afford them right now. So the plants are going to have to do, I have a decent light running 10 hours a day, as I do want algae, because I'm going to be turning this tank into a shrimp tank soon. But the plants are loving it, and everything's growing really healthy. Next tip is that you're using the wrong filtration. So right now I'm running a sponge filter for this 10-gallon tank. It's a perfect, gentle current throughout the tank, and these fish don't really require anything too fast, but make sure that whatever filtration that you're going to be using isn't too fast for the fish that you want to keep. Like angelfish, tetras, or any sort of schooling fish, they don't really want too fast of a water. So make sure you keep that in mind. And since we're talking about sponge filters, make sure you cycle your tank. I believe in at least a 2 to 3 week cycle, mixed with plants. Like I said earlier, mixed with different types of growing plants. And 2 to 3 weeks is a really good cycle time. And the bacteria is going to have plenty of help to keep up with the fish load, as also there's not too many fish in here. One thing that people really don't understand is that bacteria can be growing anywhere on the tank. It's not just a sponge filter, it's just a really good place for it to gather, as it has lots of holes and the water is going in and out, so the bacteria is being constantly fed. But the bacteria is growing on the glass, the rocks, the sand. Every single grain of sand holds millions of bacteria little things on it. Same with the plants. Everything in here has bacteria on it, and it's helped cycling the tank. So the more things you have in it, not overloading it, but make sure you do have some substrate. I like to add, if you're going bare bottom, do make sure you cycle it fully. Another tip is to set your lights on a timer. I love doing that, as once I set it up, I pretty much forget about it, and when I am home, I see my fish, and when I am going to bed, the light's already off. And when I'm up in the morning, the light's on. So it's a perfect balance, and you could kind of time out how long your light is going for if you want to control algae growth, plant growth, anything like that. So one thing I've started doing is feeding multiple times a day, but in very small amounts. I do the tiniest pinch possible that the fish can eat in maybe 10 seconds max. I do that maybe twice a day, especially because there are some fry in the tank, and I want these German blue rams to get a little fat on them, and so it doesn't hurt too bad the tank at all, as the fish are eating all the food. So try that, and also don't feed so much one time. Don't overfeed. It's easier to overfeed than it is to underfeed. There's plenty of different things that the fish can eat in the tank, different algae, different bacteria, different things that the plants bring in, and all of that. Another tip is that you can get a lot of things cheaper at hardwood stores than fish stores or even pet stores, as the sand right here It looks super natural. It's a little bit bright, but to be honest, I like it in person. It's just really bright on camera. But I really like this sand, and I got it for $8 at Home Depot, and it was just play sand. Well, pretty much I think it's like $8 for like a pound of gravel over at Petco, PetSmart. So like, yeah, it could get really expensive. So try to cut your costs by, you know, going alternative routes like hardwood stores. Also online you can search up websites such as eBay or Aquabid and buy aquarium stuff such as plants, fish that you don't have in your area. Like for me, the fish stores, I only have the chain stores, which suck, to be honest, with their selection of fish and what you can get. So I sometimes like to order from eBay or Aquabid a plant bundle or live food, and you know, use that. And they most of the time they are relatively cheap, and you just have to pay shipping. But if it's plants or live food, I don't think it's too bad with shipping. Last tip is going to be that you should have a tank that is an ecosystem. What I mean is that you have a cleanup crew, such as snails or something on the substrate cleaning up all the nasties and all the uneaten food, and you have plants, and you have, you know, your schooling fish and your centerpiece fish, and everything is living in coexistence, and you have a nice little ecosystem to sit back and watch. Also, when you do get to that stage, water changes can be a lot easier as the plants are continuously growing, so the water quality isn't too bad, and you're able to chill out and watch your fish. That does it for this video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.